Hello everybody, I'm Silleaf. This will be the one-shot entitled, How Many Vigilantes Does It Take to Outrun a Pro Hero? 1 if they have a well-placed dumpster, by Red Lemonade on AO3. Summary. Izuku is so happy to end his patrol and head home. Erasure Head is happy to chase down and arrest that irritating vigilante. Or, Izuku runs from Aizawa in his vigilante uniform, scared shitless. Rightfully so. The air was crisp as Izuku leapt from one rooftop to the next, his hood pulled low over his face. The city stretched out before him, a quiet labyrinth of concrete and glass under the dim glow of the streetlights. The patrol had been uneventful tonight, no major scuffles, fewer drunkards to guide home, and thankfully no encounters with underground heroes, a rare repetitive. As 3 a.m. ticked by, he was only 15 minutes away from the comfort of his small, cluttered apartment. Izuku's breath puffed in the cold air as he vaulted a low wall, his sneakers landing soundlessly on the adjacent rooftop. He allowed himself a moment of relief, his pace slowing as he imagined collapsing onto his bed. The thought of curling up in the worn blankets, still slightly damp from the last hurried wash, was enough to bring a small smile to his lips. Sleep. Izuku missed it. A faint thump behind him breaks his thought. Izuku froze, his body tensing like a coiled spring. Slowly, he turned, swallowing thickly as his eyes darted across the rooftop. Red gleamed in the darkness, and his heart palpitated. Oh, that is not good. That is really, really bad. Standing not 10 feet away was Erasure Head, his scruffy black scarf shifting slightly in the breeze. Crimson eyes locked on to Izuku with unyielding focus. Oh shit, Izuku whispered. Erasure Head took a step forward. Izuku yelped, scrambling backwards before pivoting sharply and sprinting across the rooftop. Shit. I didn't even do anything, he shouted over his shoulder, his voice cracking with panic. The pro hero didn't respond, his silence far more terrifying than any shouted warning. Izuku's heart thundered in his chest as he vaulted another wall, his momentum barely keeping him ahead of Erasure Head's relentless pursuit. Even though Izuku had trained himself to be quick and nimble, Erasure Head was a seasoned hero, a predator on the hunt. Every time Izuku dared to glance back, the hero seemed closer, his scarf trailing like a shadow of a specter. Why is he so fast? Izuku gasped, his legs burning as he pushed himself harder. A loose pipe nearly sent him sprawling, but he managed to recover, hopping over an AC unit and landing on a spluted roof. He slid, scrambling for purchase as the tiles shifted beneath him. Somewhere behind, Erasure Head followed with unnerving precision. Desperation clawed at Izuku's mind. He'd never outrun Erasure Head in a straight sprint. He needed to get creative. Spotting an alley below, Izuku didn't hesitate. He threw himself off the edge, twisting mid-air to catch a fire escape and absorb some of the impact before landing in a dumpster, with an echoing crash. The lid slammed shut above him, plunging him into darkness. Izuku clamped a hand over his mouth, his breath shallow and silent. The stench hit him like a punch to the face, and he immediately regretted taking a breath through his nose. The rank combination of old takeout and who knows what else made his eyes water. Damn it, he thought bitterly. I'll have to wash these clothes 3 extra times now. Outside, he could hear Erasure Head's footsteps land softly in the alley. Izuku's body went rigid, his muscles straining against the urge to shift even slightly. The silence stretched on, suffocating as the hero's shadow moved across the cracks of light, filtering into the dumpster. Izuku's heart pounded in his ears. He prayed silently, willing Erasure Head to give up, to move on, to leave him alone. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the shadow shifted. The footsteps faded, each one carrying Erasure Head further from the alley. Izuku waited, his nerves taut, until he was certain the hero was gone. Slowly, carefully, he lifted the lid of the dumpster, peeking out into the empty alley. Relief flooded through him, and he climbed out, brushing off what grime he could without gagging. Well, he muttered, grimacing as he surveyed the state of his hoodie. That could have gone worse. Despite the ordeal, a small part of him couldn't help but feel a thrill. Erasure Head, his favorite hero, had chased him down. Sure, it had been terrifying, but also kind of amazing. Izuku saw Erasure Head. Shaking his head, Izuku pulled up his hood and slipped into the shadows, making his way back home. Tomorrow he'd need to be more careful. And definitely do laundry. Alright, everybody, that concludes How Many Vigilantes Does It Take to Outrun a Pro Hero? 1, if they have a well-placed dumpster. I figured out that some of you are getting a tad bit concerned about how many angst fics I do. So, me and my, quote-unquote manager, Pika, were talking, and I went through the crack fix that I could find, and I'm gonna be posting them as well as the angst fix, just to kind of switch it up a bit, so y'all won't be concerned too much about me anymore. But beside that, please make sure to check out the Discord if you haven't already. If you would like to get updates easier, get connected with people within the fanfiction community, make requests for a podfic, and more. The link to the server will be in the description. Now I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening.